Hello, today's May 10th. I'm going to provide some student loan updates as usual, but I also want to talk a little bit about what I'm hearing in the news and just the amount of student loan debt out there and what what are financial services doing to help people with student loan debt and what can be done? What's the potential, right? First, I'm going to start with some student loan news. If you like content, if you are a student loan borrower or serve student loan borrowers, like you're a mortgage lender or you're in financial services that touch a lot of student loan borrowers, please consider subscribing to my channel. So, first and foremost, in the news with all the Biden funded extended waivers, he's extended the waiver, the income driven repayment waiver. And he also provided a public service loan forgiveness expansion to allow more people's payments to count. As a result of all these things, over 600,000 borrowers have received over 42 billion in student loan relief. Okay, this is really big. Why is this so exciting? This is so exciting is because temporary expanded relief paves the pathway towards what programmatic changes need to be made at the Department of Education level to systematically improve the programs for borrowers. So it's really good because things that happened, examples, even if you made a late payment before would not count as a payment towards public service loan forgiveness, but now it counts. For example, that something as simple as that. The extended waiver also allows up to 3 years of forbearance to count towards loan forgiveness. I'm not trying to say that will all be extended permanently, but there's a lot of things. Oh, Obama, I'm sorry, Biden, said Obama. Biden comes into office and also takes away the tax bomb. So if you get debt relief and you're not a public servant, you don't have to pay taxes towards that. And that ends in 2025. However, with starting something like a temporary measure to help borrowers, a lot of things that the programs implement well could be extended into law permanently. So that's the good news. I did want to talk about that. Additionally, I wanted to talk a little bit about like what I'm hearing in the news. Recently, there's been a bank merger between a few banks, and these banks will come out and say, "Oh, now we're a $142 billion bank," for example. Just so you can understand the magnitude, they feel really proud of themselves. Wow, that's such a big bank, right? And that does seem like a lot of money. However, just so you can understand the scale, that is literally left less than 1/10 of the balance of what is lent out there to all of student loan borrowers. Student loan borrowers hold $1.76 trillion in student debt. And of course, as the pandemic payment pause brings $0 interest, it's not that people's balances are growing because we have $0 interest right now. It's that people are still continuing to take out debt. So the student loan debt clock is actually increasing a bit because we're welcoming new borrowers into the fold with new balances growing because of that, not necessarily because of interest. But still, 1.76 trillion. So to me, the huge amount of debt is staggering. And it's appalling to me that within our systems, we don't create and provide more solution for student loan borrowers. And the reason I say that why I'm appalled by this is because we hear all the time, like, oh, consolidate your credit cards. We'll hear all the time, like, buy this identity protection in case someone steals your identity, things that impact you from a financial standpoint, but that the impacts and the amount of money represented by a loss of someone stealing your identity as a society pale in comparison to the amount of student loan debt people carry, right? Yet there's all these products out there for all these other things. And the only product the market has created is a student loan refinance product, which, by the way, is great for the few Americans who will earn enough and can pay off their debt at such an accelerated pace that it makes sense to refinance the student loan debt. But there's not enough resources out there for federal borrowers who don't want to refinance. What can I do to my student loan debt to actually be able to buy a house? What can I do for my student loan debt if I want to save more for retirement? Like, what can I do? You know, there's a lot of financial products and services out there that aren't specifically about student debt, but that helping with student debt can help accelerate the cash flow and people's ability to access other wealth building opportunities like buying a house, saving for retirement, etc. So that was my little rant. And yeah, that's my little rant. What I did want to say is like, why am I so passionate about these things? I want to share a little bit because, I've been thinking like I'm taking this personal branding class and they ask us, what is our superpower? And like, I realize I'm very passionate about my work, but that's not my superpower. There's a lot of people passionate about their work. What I realized is throughout my entire career, I've always figured out how to help people leverage resources. And what does that mean? Like, I help college students get access to Pell Grants, scholarships, figure out how to get the most potential money to make their investment in their higher education really make sense, right? So, for example, if you get a lot of scholarship money, a lot of Pell Grants, a lot of aid, you take out less debt, and then you go get a degree that can help serve you in a way that you actually get that paid back plus a multiple, right? Which is what education should really be doing. How do you leverage resources to get you there? What are there jobs on campus to do that can help lower the cost of attendance or increase the amount of cash flow you have to pay for school so that you take out less debt, right? So here are a few examples. Like I served as a residential advisor for first year students when I was in college because it paid for room and board for those semesters that I did it. So I say that because that's a way to leverage resources. It's a way to leverage do something in exchange for not tuition, but lowered room and board, which lowers my cost of attendance, which lowers the amount of debt I took out ultimately, right? But I say that because I realize my superpower is really leveraging resources, whether it's for myself or for others. And so after I went to get my MBA, and now I'm working on LoanSense, which is leveraging resources of the federal government to help people now be able to buy a home or help people struggle less with debt so that they can achieve the dreams of home ownership, right? So I realize my superpower is helping others. I'm very passionate about it. Leverage resources to get to where they want to be in life. Whether that's working a job you love, even though it pays a little less, whether it's being able to make a decision, hey, I have children, I want to stay home with my children for a few years, having the financial freedom to make good choices for you and your family. I'm really passionate about helping people figure out what resources they need to get there. And I realize that's what my superpower is. When I sit on the phone and talk to other founders and they're like, oh, tell me where I can get XYZ help, where I can leverage this, leverage that. I'm like so passionate about that. That's my superpower. I love giving people access to things to make the most of their situation. And it's almost like the good feeling of going to a store and getting only things you need, of course, but scoring a really awesome deal, right? Really needed this thing. It was on my list. I got it for 60% off. Doesn't that feel amazing? Um, that that's I hate to say it. Some people get high on various substance. For me, it's helping others score a good deal in life. So if my tips can help you score a good deal, whether it's managing your student loans or other aspects of life, please consider subscribing, sharing this video. And I cannot wait to talk to you all again next week.